Hi there. Thank you for joining me. My name is Erica. Today we're going to be doing a really lovely heart opening Vinyasa Flow practice. Okay, so to begin, we're going to be starting in a traditional balasana or child's pose. If you have achy knees, I would recommend that you take either a folded up blanket and place it underneath your buttocks, between your calf muscles and your thighs. Or if that is not enough for you, you can also take a block, and once you've put the blanket underneath you, you can rest your forehead onto the block just to lift you up and take the pressure off of your knees somewhat. Okay, and then for the rest of us, if you have no knee issues, just gently releasing down into your balasana, relaxing your forehead and your shoulders completely down, closing your eyes and taking a few deep breaths in and out. And as you focus on your breathing, allow your mind and your body to come to the present moment. There's nothing else to do right now, just to be here on your mat, focusing on your practice for the next while. Try to expand the inhalations and extend the exhalations. With every exhalation, allowing your mind and your body to relax a little bit deeper. I'm just taking one more deep breath in and sighing it out. And on your next inhalation, you're going to slowly tuck your chin in. Relax your shoulders as you slowly unfurl your spine, coming all the way up. At the top of your exhalation, as you start to breathe out, you're gently going to arch your spine and come all the way back down in a wave. Relaxing your shoulders and breathing in, curling all the way up. And breathing out, arching down. So just doing this at your own pace for the next few rounds, really feeling like you are relaxing into your spine. Really draw your shoulder blades back as you arch your spine. And make your shoulders heavy as you roll up. I'm just doing one or two more. And then coming to an inhalation, rolling all the way up. If your eyes have been closed, you can gently blink them open. You're going to take your hands behind your head. You can interlace your fingers. Take a deep breath in as you gently arch your spine and look up. And then as you breathe out, tucking in your chin and just curling your spine. Breathing in, opening up the chest again, gently looking up. As you breathe out, curling in a little bit deeper. Breathing in all the way up. Curling in deeper. And on your last round, as you curl down, you're going to go down as far as you can. Really tucking in the chin and the neck. And very gently coming all the way back up, opening up the chest. And then coming to a neutral spine, releasing your arms, taking in a deep breath. And as you breathe out, twisting over to one side, taking your hand to the outside of that thigh. Your back hand will just support you. And if you'd like, you can gently look over your shoulder towards the back. And on your next inhalation, coming back to center and swapping sides as you exhale. Big, deep breaths in your twist. And on your next inhalation, coming back to center, coming onto all fours in a tabletop position, your wrists under your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. A few cat and cows, breathing in, gently arching the spine, breathing out, curling the spine. And continue doing this at your own pace, just for a few rounds. Really feeling a nice stretch in the shoulder girdle as you curl your spine. And one more. Coming back on your next inhalation to a neutral spine, walking your hands about a foot in front of you, setting up for your puppy pose. Your hips are going to stay lifted as you gently draw your chest down to the mat. Your forehead or your chin can come down to the mat. And just a few deep breaths in and out. One more deep breath. And sigh it out. And very slowly beginning to walk your hands back to a tabletop position. You can tuck your toes in and come to a bent Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Just pedaling your feet a few times. And then bending both your knees, drawing your shoulder girdle towards your thighs. Really feeling the weight shifting back. Take a deep breath in as you come forward into a high plank with a curled spine. Coming all the way through to a hammock, so gently releasing your knees and your feet down and allowing your shoulder blades, your shoulders to come up to your ears, and then engaging in your abdominals to come back to tuck your toes into your bent downward facing dog. And again, articulating the spine, gently placing the knees and the feet down and releasing your shoulders. And then very important to engage those lower abdominals to protect your lower back. And come back into your bent downward facing dog. And one more time, big curl of the spine. Releasing your shoulders and engaging in the abdominals as you come through to your downward facing dog. And this time, if you'd like, you can stretch into the legs. Just have one or two deep breaths in and out. On your next inhalation, you're going to lift your right leg parallel to the ground. As you breathe out, bend your right knee into your chest. Bring your foot all the way through. Place your left knee on the ground. Release your back foot into a low lunge. Extending your arms up and then taking your hands behind your head, interlacing your fingers, and just gently opening up the elbows. Try not to crunch down in the lower spine. Think of this as an extension of the upper chest only. Few deep breaths. One more deep breath in and out. And then gently releasing your arms back up, taking them back down either side of your front foot, tucking in your back toes and stepping back to a plank position. Place your knees down on the ground, heart forward, bending all the way down until you're flat on your stomach. Taking your hands at your rib cage, take a deep breath into a baby cobra. Pull your shoulder blades back. Hold it here for 1 or 2 breaths. And on your next inhalation, gently releasing down and back to a tabletop, tucking into your downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, left leg to 3-legged dog. As you breathe out, knee to chest, stepping all the way through, releasing your back knee and back foot, and lifting your arms to your low lunge. Take one more deep breath in. And as you breathe out, interlace your hands behind your head and open up your elbows. Remember not to crunch down into the lower spine. Engage your lower abdominals and think of opening up the top of your chest only. One more deep breath in and out. Bringing your head erect, take your arms up at either side. And as you breathe out, hands at either side of your front foot, tuck your back foot, stepping back to your plank position. You can have your knees on the mat or you can lower down in one straight line all the way to the floor. Release your toes. Take your hands behind you, interlace them at your sacrum. And as you breathe in, gently stretching your arms and lifting your chest and your head off the mat. Make sure your pinky toes are connecting with the mat. One more deep breath in. And gently release your forehead. Release your hands. Take them to just either side of your rib cage. And as you breathe in, pushing back to your tabletop, tucking in your toes, your downward facing dog. Take one deep breath in here and release. On your next inhalation, extending that leg all the way up, hip down. As you breathe out, hugging your knee into your chest, stepping it all the way through, setting up for a crescent lunge. So your back foot is tucked in, your knee is lifted, using your abdominals, engage as you lift your arms. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, opening up your arms to a cactus position. If that's enough for you, you can stay here. Or if you'd like, you can gently start to open up your chest towards the sky. Big deep breaths. One more deep breath in and out. And on your next inhalation, bringing your arms up, your spine erect. Take one more deep breath in. And breathing out, hands to the mat either side of your front foot. Step back to plank. Now, yogi's choice, you can go through a vinyasa, through chaturanga, or you can have your knees on the ground and go through a cobra position. Whichever way you choose. We'll meet back in your downward facing dog. Taking a deep breath in and sighing it out. On your next inhalation, lifting your left leg, three-legged dog. Breathing out, tucking your knee into your chest first before stepping it through, setting up for your crescent. And lifting your arms. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, cactus arms. And if you'd like, you can lift your head, open up your chest. Deep breaths in and out. Keep drawing that back heel down into the ground, keeping that leg really nice and straight. One more deep breath in and out. And on your next inhalation, bringing your spine and arms straight. Take one more deep breath in. And as you breathe out, hands down either side of your front foot. Step back to plank, yogi's choice. Choose your vinyasa. And we will meet back in your downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Taking a deep breath in, you're going to lift your right leg. This time you're going to open up your hip. And just first rotate your ankle a few times in one direction, then in another. And you're going to bend into that knee. And just look underneath your right shoulder for a moment. Now feel that twisting feeling. If you want to stay here, you can stay here. If you'd like to go into wild thing, you're going to keep twisting. Take that right foot behind you and gently land on the ball of your right foot. Once you're there, you're going to push your hips up into your wild thing and take your right arm overhead. Deep breaths. One more deep breath in and out. On your next inhalation, engage in your abdominals to lift that leg straight back into your open three-legged dog. Turn your hip parallel, toes down. As you breathe out, hugging your knee into your chest, stepping it through and setting up for your Virabhadrasana number one. Turning your back foot out, placing it flat and extending your arms up. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, interlacing your hands behind you at your sacrum and extending your arms and just holding it here. If you'd like, you can do a slight back bend. Big breaths. Take one more deep breath in. And breathing out, release your arms back up. Take one more deep breath in. As you breathe out, hands on either side of the front foot. Step back to plank through your vinyasa. If you want to go knees down into a cobra, you're also welcome. If you need a child's pose at any time, you can take it and meet us back when you're ready. Once you're in downward facing dog, take a deep breath in, sigh it out. Breathing in, lifting your left leg, opening up your hip, circling your ankle one way and the other way. Bending into that knee for a moment and looking underneath your left shoulder, feeling that twist, and either staying here or if you'd like to go into your wild thing, keep twisting and then place that left foot on the ball of the foot behind you and push your hips up into your wild thing. Breathe deeply. One more deep breath in and out. And on your next inhalation, engaging in your abdominals, trying to lift that leg as soon as possible into your three-legged dog. And then first turning your hip down and your toes down. And then on an exhalation, bringing your knee to chest. Stepping your foot through, placing your back foot turned out and flat, setting up for your warrior one. Extending your arms up. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, interlacing your hands, trying to change the interlacing of your hands. And then extending your arms. And you can stay here, or you can open up your chest a little bit further. Take one more deep breath in and out. And on your next inhalation, bringing your arms back up. And as you breathe out, hands flat on the mat, step back to your plank position, yogi's choice, through your vinyasa, or you can sit back in a child's pose. Have a couple of breaths. And then meet us back in downward facing dog. Taking a deep breath in and sighing it out. And then gently releasing your knees down to the mat. We're going to go into your camel pose, Ustrasana. So bringing your knees together or slightly apart. I think I prefer to do it with my knees slightly apart. You're going to come up onto your knees. If you need your knees or get sore, you can roll your mat and place it underneath your knees just to cushion them a bit. You're going to tuck your toes in. You're going to take your hands behind you and your thumbs are going to press into the center of your sacrum. Your other fingers are facing out. Now, what you're going to picture with Ustrasana is we're not leaning backwards. What we're actually doing is thinking of lifting up and over. So feel that growth. Like I was saying earlier, we're not crunching into our lower spine. We're lifting up through our abdominals to open up our chest. So think of doing that, trying to not push your pelvis forward too much. Think more of opening up and over. And just breathe into this for a moment. Keep your chin tucked in if your back of your neck strains too much. If your neck is fine, you can release it somewhat, but try not to crunch back in your neck. Now, if this is where you want to stay, you can stay here. If you'd like to go further, you can try and grab one heel. And if that's enough for you, you can stay here. Or you can grab both heels and then really think of pushing your hips forward as you open up your chest. And then you can let your neck go back as far as comfortable for you. Breathe deeply. And then to come out, take one hand and then the other. Back to your sacrum, tuck your chin in, and then very gently lowering down into a child's pose to relax your spine. Take one more deep breath in and sigh it out. And so gently rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. If you want to have another vinyasa, you can go through a vinyasa, and then once you're done, you can come meet us on the mat. We're going to have our feet in front of us, hip width apart. Your hands are going to be behind you, and you're going to push up into, it's like I call it an upside down table. As you push up, your hips are going to come all the way up and you're making basically a table with your body. Now you can stay here. If you like to release your head, you're welcome. I like to keep my chin tucked in. If you have neck issues, I would recommend just keeping your chin tucked in and really work at drawing your heels down, pushing your pelvis up. Take one more deep breath in and gently release. And then you're going to stretch your legs out in front of you, bring your heels together. You're going to take your hands behind you, and it's the same sort of feeling. This time, what you're going to be doing is pushing your toes down into the mat as you push your hips up, and you're going to try and get a straight line all the way from your toes up to your shoulders. And the same thing, if you like to release your head, if you have no neck issues, you can do that. Or like me, you can just keep your chin tucked in slightly. Take a deep breath in. Push up those hips. And then very gently releasing back. All right, let's lie on our backs and sit up for a bridge pose. So taking your heels as close to your buttocks as you can. Your fingertips should almost be brushing your heels. Your knees are hip width apart, so are your feet. Your feet are flat. Take a deep breath in and start to unfurl your spine, pushing your hips up as far as they'll go, and then scrunching your shoulder blades together to get more of an arch in that back. Interlacing your hands underneath you and scrunching even further if that's possible for you. And then in this position, deep inhalations and exhalations. Keep pushing those hips up and drawing your heels down into the ground to help you push your hips up even further. Take one more deep breath in. And as you breathe out, release your hands first, untuck your shoulders, and then very gently roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Now, if you'd like to do that one again, you're welcome. If you practice the wheel, then this will be the time we're going to do it. So with the wheel, your feet are in the same position. Your hands come to your shoulders and you're turning your fingers in. What you're aiming to do is to keep your elbows tucked. So your elbows are in line with your wrists. Try not to let your elbows splay out. Okay, and once you're here, if you want to just practice this for now, if you're not used to the wheel, you can do that. If you want to practice the next step, which is going up onto the crown of your head. So that will be the next step. So you can practice that. If you want to go all the way up, you're going to push up and then draw your chest towards your wrists. Deep breaths. And then when you're ready, gently, first of all, tucking in your chin, coming down slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. And then hugging your knees into your chest, taking a deep breath in and out. Just allowing your spine to decompress. You can rock from side to side. And then you can hold your kneecaps and just make circles with your knees in one direction and in the other. You can also make circles this way by bringing your knees away from each other and then towards each other, and then in the opposite direction. And then coming to hold underneath your thighs and rocking yourself up. We're going to come into a butterfly position. So it's not quite like a Baddha Konasana. Baddha Konasana, your feet are quite close to you. This one, we want our feet at least a foot away from our groin area so that you can completely relax your spine. So you're going to take a deep breath in. Once you're here, you can hold around your ankles. And as you breathe out, you can gently release down. And if you'd like, you can take your arms in front of you, palms up, and just relax your spine. Take one more deep breath in and out. And then very slowly roll your spine up. You're going to open your legs as far as they'll go. Try to make sure that your knees and your feet don't conk in. Make sure that you're really opening up your knees and your feet in this position. Now you'll go as far as you can. If you need a block to relax your head on, or even 2 blocks, do whatever's comfortable for you. But we're going to take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, you're gently going to roll your spine down and rest your forehead on whatever you can, just to try and relax your head completely down. All the time making sure that your knees are not falling in and your toes are not falling in. Close your eyes. Deep breath. And very slowly begin to bring yourself up. And then holding on the outside of your knees, gently bending your knees in, stretching them out and giving them a good shake. And into Paschimottanasana, so flexing into your feet, your legs and feet are together. Just starting off in a staff pose position, drawing your spine as long as possible, and then feeling the engagement of the abdominals so as to keep the spine nice and long. Take a deep breath in, lifting your arms by your ears. And as you breathe out, gently hinging forward and then folding over, relaxing completely. Once again, if you need to take a block or 2 and place them underneath your forehead so that they can completely relax down, please do whatever you can to allow your spine to completely relax. Close your eyes. And focus on your inhalation and your exhalation as we begin to wind down. And taking one more deep inhalation and exhalation. And on your next inhalation, very gently bringing the spine back up. And then bending your knees, scooching your hips forward and lying back on your mat. Just hugging your knees into your chest for a moment. You can rock from side to side. And then we're just going to finish off with one final twist. So taking your feet down onto the mat. Your feet are hip width apart, not hip width apart. Your feet are as wide as the mat. A little bit away from your body. Your arms are at shoulder level on the floor. Your palms can face down. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, let your knees fall over to the right-hand side. Now, if that's enough for you, you can just stay here, or if you'd like, you can take your right ankle and place it over your left thigh. But if you feel a tweak in your lower back when you do this, rather just release the position. We're wanting to relax the spine now. Take one more deep breath in and out. And on your next inhalation, bring your knees back up. And as you exhale, let your knees fall over to the opposite side. And if it's comfortable for you, taking that left ankle on top of the right thigh. And one more deep breath in and out. And as you breathe in, bending your knees, bringing your knees back up, bending them into your chest one last time. And then slowly releasing one leg down to the mat at a time for your final shavasana. Allowing your feet to be quite wide apart with your feet relaxedly falling out to the sides. If you'd like, you can rest your hands on your heart center, making sure though to keep your elbows connecting to the ground. You can place your hands like that, or you can release your hands in a traditional shavasana. So choose which way you would like to do that. Tuck your chin in so that the back of your neck is long. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. And gently close your eyes. Very gently begin to bring yourself back. And bringing subtle movement to the fingers and toes. And deepening your breathing. And then very, very slowly and peacefully bending your knees and rolling over onto your most comfortable side. And slowly bringing yourself up to a comfortable seated position with your eyes closed. Taking your hands to your heart center, one on top of the other. Just going to take a deep breath into our hearts. And sigh out. And another deep breath into your heart. And sigh out. And when you're ready, you can gently blink your eyes open.